There's something about Camilla's future that the palace isn't telling you. 5 psychics from 4 different countries, including Diana's personal astrologer, were each asked what they see for 2026. They've never met, never spoken, never compared a single note, and each one of them saw the exact same thing. Today I'm breaking down 15 specific claims these 5 people made, from the exact month one of them named, to the tarot card that in 2,000 years has never meant anything good, to the one word a Brazilian seer used that ties all 5 visions together. By the way, number 7 is the claim that made me stop and rewind 3 times. And number 15, that's the one where 2 cards from the same deck tell 2 completely opposite stories about Camilla and William. When you see that contrast, it changes everything. Most people will scroll right past this, but if you've waited 27 years for karma to catch up with the woman Diana called the Rottweiler, you need to hear all 15. Let's get into it. Number 1, a man with 31 books says he channeled Diana. Craig Hamilton Parker is a British psychic medium with 31 published books and over 90,000 YouTube subscribers on his show, Coffee with Craig. The UK press gave him the nickname New Nostradamus, and his track record is why. He called Brexit when the whole country laughed at the idea. He named Trump's 2016 win months before election night. He warned about COVID-19 before the world had heard the word. And in 2022, he told his audience Queen Elizabeth wouldn't survive the year. She died that September. But here's the part that matters. In 2003, Craig appeared in a television special called The Spirit of Diana. He claimed to have channeled Princess Diana's spirit directly. Whether you believe that is your call, but this man has spent over 2 decades connected to Diana's story, and now he's looking at the woman who destroyed Diana's marriage. Number 2, he named the exact month Charles could die. Craig's vision for 2026. King Charles may pass away in early 2026, and he didn't leave it vague. He named February. His exact words, "I predicted that his would be a short reign, and sadly, I feel that short reign is now coming to its conclusion." Now pause. This isn't some anonymous account posting at 3 in the morning. This is a man with 31 published books and a track record that major British newspapers have documented for decades, pointing at a calendar, saying February 2026, Charles. That's not vague. That's not something might happen someday. That's a man with a verified track record pointing at a specific month and saying, it's time. That's as specific as it gets. Number 3, Camilla loses everything. Craig's full vision. And Craig didn't stop at Charles. He saw what comes next. If Charles goes, Camilla loses everything. Not some things, not most things, everything. She's no longer queen. She becomes Queen Dowager, which sounds impressive until you realize it's a ceremonial label with 0 power, no authority, no influence over policy, no seat at the table where a single decision about the monarchy's future gets made. She goes from the most powerful woman in the country to a title on a piece of paper overnight. William becomes King William V. Immediately. No waiting period, no transition committee, no gentle handover. The crown passes and William steps in. And Craig's exact words? William will call all the shots. The boy who walked behind his mother's coffin in 1997 while 2 billion people watched and the world held its breath. The teenager who watched Camilla slowly take his mother's place at the dinner table, in the car, in the official photographs, 1 frame at a time, year after year. The man who, according to Tina Brown in The Palace Papers, hasn't had a private conversation with Camilla since 2019. That man will control her entire future, her budget, her staff, her titles, her security detail, her residence, everything she clings to, everything she spent 3 decades positioning herself to take. All of it in William's hands. Number 4, a firmer hand toward the Rottweiler. Craig also said William would be strong and decisive and would handle the family with a firmer hand. A firmer hand. Let those 3 words land. Toward the woman Diana called the Rottweiler. That's not a gentle transition of power. That's not a courteous arrangement between stepmother and stepson. That's a man who's been carrying 27 years of quiet fury behind a composed smile, and who is about to have the authority to act on each bit of it. 1 psychic down, 4 to go, and the next one? She didn't just predict Camilla's future. She knew Diana personally. Number 5. Diana's personal astrologer now reads Camilla's chart. Debbie Frank was Princess Diana's personal astrologer from 1989 until the day Diana died in 1997. 8 years of private sessions behind closed doors. Diana called her a close friend and confidant, one of the very few people she trusted completely. Diana poured everything into those readings, everything she felt about Camilla, about Charles, about the betrayal that hollowed out her marriage, the pain, the loneliness, the rage that kept her awake at 3 in the morning, all of it shared in confidence for nearly a decade. And now that same woman, the woman who knew Diana's heart better than almost anyone alive, is staring at Camilla's birth chart and writing forecasts for Hello magazine. The woman who saw Diana's tears, the woman who heard Diana's voice tremble with fury. That woman is now reading the stars for the woman who replaced her. And what Debbie sees for 2026? It's devastating. Number 6. She will step back. In print, on the record. Debbie's reading was published in Hello magazine on December 30th, 2025, and confirmed separately in the Australian Women's Weekly in January 2026. On the record, in print. This isn't some random internet rumor. Her words, her role will be clearly defined from April onwards. And then the big one, she will step back from duties that the younger royals could perform. Step back. Think about what those 2 words mean. Translation, Kate and William replace her. The daughter-in-law and the son take over the duties of the queen. But Debbie went further. She said, the dynamics of her relationship with Charles as a king and husband and the requirements of being queen are being rewritten this year. Rewritten. Did you catch that word? Not adjusted, not tweaked, not updated for modern times. Rewritten. From scratch. Diana's own astrologer, the woman who held Diana's hand through 8 years of heartbreak, is telling us that everything Camilla spent decades scheming and waiting and fighting for is being torn up and started over. That's not a prediction. That's a verdict. Number 7. An alignment that happens once every 248 years. Remember I told you number 7 would make me stop and rewind? Here it is. Debbie explained the astrological reason behind her reading, and whether or not you follow astrology, this detail is striking. She said, 2026 places Pluto, the powerful planet of transition and transformation, on the marriage and relationship angle of both Charles and Camilla's charts. Both of them, at the exact same time. And this alignment happens once every 248 years. Let that number sit with you for a second. The last time Pluto occupied this position, the American Revolution was breaking out and the British monarchy was losing its grip on half the known world, once every 248 years. And it's landing directly, precisely, on the marriage charts of the king and his queen, right now, in 2026, Debbie's summary. 2026 marks a turning point in the dynamics between king, country, and queen. 2 psychics, 2 British, both seeing massive change for Camilla in 2026. But the 3rd psychic? He's from the other side of the Atlantic. He's never met Craig or Debbie. And the word he used? I had to stop the video and rewind 3 times. Number 8. A Brazilian seer with millions of followers. Athos Salome is a 38-year-old Brazilian parapsychologist with millions of followers across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The international media calls him the living Nostradamus. And unlike most people who get compared to the famous seer, this one has the receipts to prove it. He predicted the COVID-19 pandemic before the first case was confirmed in China. He predicted Queen Elizabeth's death months before it happened. He predicted Elon Musk's Twitter buyout before anyone else saw it coming. He called major political events with eerie precision that left his critics scrambling for explanations. A psychic from Brazil, on the other side of the ocean. No connection to Craig Hamilton Parker. No connection to Debbie Frank. No ties to British royalty whatsoever. No cultural investment in Diana's story. And yet, when asked about the royal family in 2026, he used one word that ties all of this together. Number 9. Karma, the word that changes everything. Athos predicted a major event within the royal family, possibly tied to the health of a key member, occurring between late 2025 and early 2026. Sound familiar? Craig said the same thing. Debbie said the same thing. 3 voices from 3 continents all pointing at the same window. But here's where Athos said something none of the others did. He described William as a fracture point and said that Camilla's position in the family would be subject to karmic events. Karma. That word. A psychic from Brazil. With no connection to Diana, no connection to British royalty, no cultural stake in any of this, looked at Camilla's future, and the first word that came to him was karma. The same concept Diana believed in. The idea that what you put into the world comes back to you, that the universe keeps score, that you can't break up a marriage, help destroy a woman's life, watch her children suffer, and walk away without consequences. The universe remembers, and it collects. Number 10. A Scottish tarot reader draws one card. Inbal Honigman is a Scotland-based celebrity psychic and tarot reader featured in The Mirror, The Sun, and The Express. She regularly provides royal readings for British media outlets. When asked to draw a single card for Camilla's 2026, she drew the one card you never want to see, the card that has ended readings, the card that makes professional psychics set down their decks and take a long, slow breath. Number 11. The Tower. The card that's never good. Inbal drew the Tower for Camilla. If you know anything about tarot, you know why that matters. The Tower is one of the most feared cards in the entire deck. It represents sudden upheaval, chaos, destruction of something you thought was permanent, the collapse of everything you built, the lightning strike you never saw coming. The image on the card itself tells the story. A tower struck by lightning, figures falling through the air, flames pouring from the windows. In Bal's interpretation, the tower signals chaotic, sudden changes for Camilla in 2026. She described it as an element of risk surrounding the Queen and warned that the card indicates a turbulent year ahead, the kind of turbulence you don't recover from. In 2,000 years of tarot history, the tower has never, not once, meant anything good. It doesn't mean challenges you'll overcome. It doesn't mean temporary setbacks. It means something is going to fall, hard, and it's not coming back. Number 12, an Australian clairvoyant compares Camilla to Marie Antoinette. Jessica Adams is an Australian astrologer and clairvoyant with 30 years of professional experience. She's written for Cosmopolitan, Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, and Elle. When Jessica looked at Camilla's chart for 2026, she compared her to Marie Antoinette, the French queen who was despised by her own people while she pretended not to notice, who ignored the suffering of ordinary citizens while she decorated palaces and threw lavish parties, whose name became, and still is, centuries later, the universal shorthand for royal arrogance, entitlement, and total disconnect from the people she was supposed to serve. The queen who took what wasn't hers and lost everything when the public decided they'd had enough. Jessica's words, "The public perception issue is real." Camilla's chart suggests she's heading into a period where her position becomes increasingly difficult to maintain. The people have long memories, and the stars show those memories coming back to haunt her. She said February to March 2026 would be particularly significant, and that Camilla's role would face complete restructuring. Craig said February. Athos said late 2025 to early 2026. Jessica says February to March. 5 voices, 4 countries, same few months. Number 13. 7 convergence points. 0 coordination. When you lay all 5 readings side by side, the pattern is even bigger than I expected. Here's what all 5 independently agree on. 1. A major royal health event or transition in 2026. 2. Camilla's role changes completely. She steps back. 3. William takes control. 4. The younger royals replace her. 5. Karma, transformation, her entire position rewritten. 6. Chaos, upheaval, sudden dramatic change. 7. The timing, each one of them pointing at the same window, late 2025 through early to mid 2026. 7 convergence points, 5 voices, 0 coordination between any of them. 5 completely different methods: spirit channeling, natal astrology, parapsychology, tarot card reading, and clairvoyance. Different tools, different training, different continents, different languages, and they all arrived independently, without prompting, without comparison, at the same destination. 1 could be wrong, 2 could be coincidence, but 5? From 4 countries? Using 5 separate traditions? That's not coincidence anymore. That's convergence, and convergence means something. Number 14. Every thread leads back to Diana. Craig channeled Diana's spirit in 2003. Debbie held her hand through 8 years of private sessions, heard her cry, heard her rage, knew her deepest fears about Camilla. Athos from Brazil, with no connection to anyone in Britain, independently reached for the word karma, the exact concept Diana lived by. Inbal drew the tower, destruction, collapse, the end of everything built on a cracked foundation. And Jessica compared Camilla to Marie Antoinette, another woman who took what wasn't hers and paid for it when the people had enough. Diana died 27 years ago. They buried her at Althorpe on a small island surrounded by still water, away from the royal family that failed her, away from the palace that tried to silence her story. But all 5 of these voices, from London to Edinburgh to Sao Paulo to Sydney, agree on one thing: her karma is still playing out. The universe hasn't forgotten, not even close. And William, Diana's eldest son, the boy she took to homeless shelters so he'd understand compassion, the man she would be proudest of on this earth, is the instrument of that justice. He always was. He was always going to be the one. But there's one more thing the psychic saw, and this is the part I can't stop thinking about. Number 15. 2 cards, 2 futures, 1 family, and here's number 15, the one I told you from the beginning would change everything. While Camilla drew the tower, chaos, destruction, everything crumbling, Inbal drew a second card, this one for William. He got the world. In tarot, the world is the single most positive card in the entire deck. Completion, achievement, personal victory, everything coming together exactly as it should. The end of a long journey and the beginning of something greater. Inbal described William's 2026 as successful, joyous, easygoing, with personal victory. The kind of year where everything aligns perfectly, where all the patience, all the silence, all the years of waiting finally pay off in full, where justice arrives without needing to raise its voice or announce itself. The contrast is staggering. Camilla draws the tower. William draws the world. She gets destruction. He gets triumph. She gets chaos. He gets completion. She falls. He rises. 2 cards pulled from the same ancient deck, sitting side by side on the same table, telling 2 completely opposite stories about 2 people who share a last name and a palace but nothing else. Craig said William will call all the shots. Debbie said the younger royals take over. Athos called him a fracture point. And the tarot the oldest divination tool in human history, says his year belongs to personal victory, Diana's sun, rising, while the woman who took her husband wore the crown Diana was promised and shattered her world from the inside out, falls. 15 claims from 5 readers across 4 countries who've never spoken a single word to each other, and each one of them saw the same future waiting for Camilla in 2026. The tower drawn, karma arriving after 27 years of silence, her role as queen rewritten from the ground up, and William rising to take control of everything she spent a lifetime trying to hold on to. You can believe in readings or dismiss every word, but when 5 people, who called Brexit, COVID, and the Queen's death, all look at the same woman and see the same destruction heading her way, that's not coincidence anymore. That's a pattern. And patterns don't lie. And it's not just seers who see what's coming. Some of the most famous people on the planet have already turned their backs on her, and the list of names will shock you. Click here to see 20 celebrities who flat out refused to meet Camilla, and what they said about her behind closed doors.